All right, this is chapter 4, lesson 3, adding and subtracting like fractions. So fractions that have the same denominators are called blank blank. In those blanks, you're going to write like fractions. So fractions that have the same denominators are called like fractions. When I add and subtract like fractions, to add or subtract like fractions, I add or subtract the numerators and write the results over the denominator. So, for this, when you're adding and subtracting like fractions, you do nothing with the denominator. It stays the same. You add or subtract the like fractions, the numerators, the denominator stays the same. All right, so let's take a look at a couple of examples. So it says add 5 ninths plus 2 ninths, right in simplest form. So all I do is I add the numerators together. 5 times 2 is 7. So 5 plus 2 is 7, 7 ninths. I cannot do anything else with that. It is already in simplest form, so that is my answer. It is done. Okay, you can only add the numerators together. The denominators stay the same. Denominators stay the same when you're adding and subtracting fractions. Okay. Sophia ate 3/5 of a cheese pizza. Jack ate 1/5 of a cheese pizza and 2/5 of a pepperoni pizza. How much pizza did Sophia and Jack eat together? Okay. So Jack ate 1/5 and 2/5, so I add those together, and Sophia ate 3/5. So all of my denominators are the same. They're all 5, so I just add them together. 3 plus 1 plus 2 gives me 3 plus 3, which is 6. 6/5 I can simplify into a mixed number. 5 goes into 6 one time, and I have 1 left over, 1 and 1/5. So Sophia and Jack ate 1 and 1/5 pizzas together. Then I have subtract -5/8 minus 3/8, right in simplest form. So -5/8 minus 3/8, so I'm subtracting, so they're both subtraction. Okay, so -5 minus 3, -5 minus 3 gives me -8. My denominator stays the same of 8. -8 over 8 is -1 when I simplify. Okay, you only subtract the numerators. Remember, the denominators stay the same. So another way to think about adding and subtracting when you're dealing with integers, which is kind of what we're dealing with, is to think about, so you're standing in a line. If you want to go positive, so if your first number is positive, you go to the left. If your first number is negative, you go to the right. Okay? The second number tells you if you walk forward or backwards. Okay? And that'll kind of visualize where you are in a line. So for the first one, I have -5, right? So -5, and it tells me to go backwards, -3, 1, 2, 3. So I'm getting a bigger negative number. Okay? So -8. All right, there are a couple of try it problems out below. I want you to go ahead, pause the video, try them out, and when you're done, we'll go over the answers together. All right, now that you've had a chance to try out the try problems, let's go over the answers together. So for the first problem I have, add -2/5 plus -2/5. So if we think about a number line, right, -2 plus a -2, so I'm still going backwards. 1, 2. -2 plus -2 gives me a -4. Okay? My denominators stay the same, so -4/5. I cannot simplify that any further. Eduardo used fabric to make 3 costumes. He used 1/4 yard for the first, 2/4 yard for the second, and 3/4 yard for the third costume. How much fabric did Eduardo use? So this is like normal. I have 1/4 plus 2/4 plus 3/4. 1 plus 2 is 3 plus 3 is 6, so I get 6/4. Remember, my denominators stay the same. 4 goes into 6 one time with 2 left over, so 1 and 2/4, which I can then simplify to equal 1 and 1/2. So he used 1.5 yards of fabric. Okay. For the last one, subtract -5 ninths minus 2 ninths. So again, I subtract, and I go backwards. So subtract -5 ninths minus 2 ninths, I get -7 ninths. right, in simplest form. I cannot simplify that any further. That is as simplified as it gets. All right, and that is the end of Chapter 4, Lesson 3.